I'm sexy. I wonder if he is a natural blonde. It's kind of dirty blonde, and his eyes are green. He's totally Anglo-Saxon. And I got distracted, and my roommate was sitting right next to me and noticed that I got distracted. And then later, when we got home, I said to Jamie, did you already tell them that I'm totally your domestic life partner? Or did you tell them that we are friends? And Jamie said, why? And I said, well, I'm just wondering, what are the rules? Did you tell them that we are polyamorous? Or do you want me to politely pretend that we are monogamous? Or should I pretend that we are just friends and we're totally queer platonic? Did you tell them that you are asexual? Or are you in the closet again? Jamie was usually in the closet. And then Jamie said, it's because of that blonde guy, isn't it? I said, well, yeah, if you did not tell them, we don't have to tell them anything about polyamory. We can just say, I am single and ready to mingle, and you can tell them whatever you want about yourself. And then I will politely ask that blonde man for his phone number. And then Jamie started crying. Jamie was crying. And I said, what? You said that we are in an open relationship, and you said that this time you would not get upset. And then Jamie said, I want to be special, and I want to be number one, and I want to be with someone that looks at nobody but me. And I said, hey, when we're at home, I'm looking at nobody but you, and I'm admiring everything that you wear, and everything that you don't wear, because you are sexy. And you don't even need to give me a hug, but whenever you decide that you want to cuddle, I am very happy about it, yes I am. And when you decide that you want to kiss, I give you a kiss. It's totally New Year's Eve. And when you decide you don't want any kisses, I don't give you any kisses. What the fuck do you want from me? He was sexy. And then Jamie said, this is not going to work. You are flirting with your ex-girlfriend again. And you also are going to the dog park with your coworker, and she's bisexual. You're gonna leave me for your coworker, or you're gonna leave me for your ex-girlfriend, or you're gonna leave me for that guy at the bookstore? And then I said, I already told you I'm not going to leave you. And I already told you we could get married literally. And if you want a wedding, we'll have a wedding. And if you don't want a wedding, and you don't want your parents to know, we won't have a wedding. But we can do the paperwork and legally get married. And then you will know for sure I'm not gonna leave. But Jamie, just the fact that I was having sex, well, sort of sex. Technically, it was not penetrative. But anyway, I was meeting up with my ex-girlfriend, and we decided that we were going to try again. And my ex-girlfriend knew about Jamie. Obviously, she knew about Jamie. And then I even arranged for them to see each other in person. And we saw the Buzz Lightyear movie, the three of us. And the whole time, Jamie was sitting in the table at the spot that Jamie likes to sit. And I was on the futon with my girlfriend, Robin. And her name is totally Robin Sparkles. So me and Robin Sparkles were on the futon, which is a couch, but also my bed. And we were cuddling throughout the entire movie. And Jamie was sitting at the table with Jamie's arts and crafts. And Jamie got jealous. And then Jamie said, look, I'm sorry that I don't want to cuddle that often. And then they said, why do they always assume that goth chicks are kinky? It's because of people like you that they always assume. And I am also a goth chick, but I don't want to be kinky. And I said, that's your choice. You have the right to be vanilla. Yeah, you do. Good job, goth chick. I'm not a goth chick anymore. You know what? Fuck it. From now on, I'm just doing whatever. Because the goth chicks have gotten awfully conservative. And they don't want BDSM. I thought this is very disappointing. Whatever. Are you not old enough to vote? In that case, BDSM, it just stands for best dad, sassy mom. Sure? About their man tits. And now all of them are wearing these really tight shirts because they want to be flat-chested. And I said, I support all men. And I always believe men. They are feeling insecure about their man tits. That's very disappointing because I like the man tits. But whatever. You want to hide them? Hide those tits. Am I the only one that is irritated by all these virgins ruining the fun for the rest of us? I told them, just go away. Go away. But they were concerned. They said that my behavior was erratic. And I said, no, I am always the same. My beliefs, always the same. My opinions, always the same. My habits, always the same. My meals, always the same. Nothing about me is erratic. They said that the doctor who pumped my stomach told them what was in my stomach. And I said, well, I admit it. Weed, yup. Xanax and mushrooms and vodka, yup. I am guilty, Your Honor. All of it. I did it. Yes, I did. And then they said that was why they were concerned. And I said, it's normal. I'm just a hippie. I'm totally a Buddhist. And I was meditating. Yeah, I was. And isn't there a religion somewhere where they believe, if you get really high, you'll totally meet God? Well, that's what I was doing. Yep. And whoops, I did too much. It was an accident. Yeah, it was. And then they said, well, anyway, there once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship, Taka-kun, Tanaka-kun, Tanaka-kun. One day the time will come, he'll bring us sugar and tea and rum. And I forgot the rest. One day the time will come, he will bring us sugar and tea and rum. and I forgot the rest. This is a medley. This is a song about love, but not a very good one. I don't know enough to tell you about heartbreak, but I know it's there, and you can't avoid it by listening to your head, which is just what I've done. And it isn't perfect, but look what I've done instead. Instead of falling for you. And they asked me, aren't you lonely? And I said, I can't relate. And they said, what? And I said, I've never actually experienced loneliness. I've only experienced, thank fucking Christ, no one is bothering me. And I feel as though those two emotions are diametrically opposed. You know, some people, when they are alone, they get very sad. Other people, when they are alone, they think, fuck yeah, yes, no one is bothering me. Nobody wants anything. There's nobody in the room. I'm alone. Thank Christ. I can jerk off in peace. I mean, what? I can read. I'm gonna read the philosophy of Philip Mainlander. That's what I'm gonna read. And I'll jerk off while reading philosophy. And then I will also read about all of the characters from Harry Potter fucking each other. For no reason in particular. And then, you know what? I want to read about Peter Parker. He is having an illicit affair with Tony Stark. Pepper Potts is going to be really upset about this. But Tony Stark is going to cheat on her. Yeah, he is. And Deadpool got involved somehow. It was totally a love triangle. And then I'm going to read about Loki Blythesmith. And he is going to seduce Thor, Odin's son. And they're not blood related. No, they're not. And now I'm reading about Allison Hargreaves and Space Boy Luther Hargreaves. He's totally married to Sloane Hargreaves. And none of them are blood related. And then Klaus Hargreaves. He is going to fall in love with Benjamin. And they're not blood related. And I'm just having fun by myself. And, what's that guy's name? Mobius? And he's totally, he's into snowboarding. And he's a single father. A single father. All right. You know, some people, when they're alone, they get very sad. But some of us, you know, I'm more than happy to just spend all night reading fanfiction. I am satisfied, Sam. And now I'm gonna rewatch my favorite anime. They always ask me, what is your favorite anime? Usually I lie. I say, my favorite anime, Your Lie in April. My favorite anime, March Comes In Like a Lion. But that was a lie. My actual favorite anime, The World God Only Knows. The World God Only Knows. It's about a guy, and he is a gamer. And he specializes in dating sims. Dating sims. He just really likes them. He has no interest in real women. Real women, boring. He prefers virtual 2D women. Me too. I prefer fictional women. Yeah. My favorite fictional woman? Spider Ghost. You know, sometimes she's a ghost. She's totally dead. But not like the Orion Experience. Three Doors Cinema Club, as far as I know, they haven't done anything yet. But eventually, they just sort of get tired, and they give up. Memento Mori, dust to dust. Filling up a coffee mug. I know I don't. Therefore, yo, who gives a toss? I just, from now on, I'm totally gonna be healthy. And, you know, why would you want intoxicants? A Xanax? I never have ever. The mushrooms, I know, they have chemicals. Yeah. And then I said, look, I will drink coffee. I take my whiskey. No, we're gonna politely pretend that I totally drink whiskey. And I take it neat. Doesn't this look neat? No? Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Going that way. Look! Going that way, it just means what's up. And, I'm a white guy, so obviously, I should not even have opinions on these topics. Trash, that's why we call you white trash. And it doesn't matter what color your skin is, you are white trash. Kamala Harris, she's obviously a pureblood. She's obviously generational wealth. Harris is just like Clinton. Doesn't matter what color her skin is, she's a pureblood. And me, I'm a half-blood, because I'm a vegano. I'm a motherfucking purple line for God's name. Is that right? Removing vegano from the streets of Laredo. Strange. And I said, how do you figure? And they said, you are so strange. It was just a difference of opinion. Just a difference of opinion. I'm just a philanthropist. Everyone believes, yeah. I donate to charity, like, every day. Everyone believes. I'm an environmentalist. And this is for the environment. I'm recycling. And they said, well, I didn't really understand what they said. They were just sort of vaguely yelling. and insulting me. I said, I'll politely pretend to cry. How did I escape? How did I escape from Willy Wonka's factory? Well, I told him, I'm not an Oompa Loompa, I'm a munchkin. My mother always told me that I was an adorable munchkin. Therefore, yeah, I'm a munchkin. But sure, I'm totally orange. And you're so beautiful and skinny. You are a noodle. For some reason, people have said that I am a scam artist. And I said, no, I'm not a scam artist. And then some people said that I'm totally living off of welfare. And I said, sure. And then they said, no, that brat is a spoiled rich kid. And I said, no, I'm living off welfare. And then someone said, what are you? And then I said, obviously, I'm God. Do you have eyeballs? Memento mori, dust to dust. Filling up a coffee mug. Do I actually need a coffee mug? Oh, whoops. All right. Memento mori, dust to dust. Filling up a coffee mug. You'll never lose me, babe. I'm totally filling up a coffee mug, Sam. I love Phineas. Isn't it summer vacation? There's 104 days of summer vacation, and school comes around just to end it. Adults ruin everything. I'm old. I'm an old person. I'm one of the Fairly Odd Parents. Fairly Odd Parents. And we're gonna politely pretend I'm totally drinking coffee. Yep. Coffee. That's what I was drinking. Coffee. Look! If you're not old enough to vote, you're not old enough to be feeling nostalgic about anything. No, this is not rage bait. This is nostalgia bait. I'm the nostalgia duck. I remember it, and then I torture you with it. Are you babysitting a baby pothead? Me too. And I told the baby pothead, we're totally living in a yellow submarine. And also, crack cocaine is bad for you. And then he said, what? I said, what? And then I was like, look, obviously the bottle is empty. You saw with your own eyes. And now it is no longer empty. But this time, it's water. It's water. I'm not actually drinking alcohol. I'm drinking water. And everyone believes. She said, please be honest. And I said, you want me to be honest? And she said, yes, please. And I said, loathing, unadulterated loathing for your goddamn fucking clothing. I despise you. And then she said, why? And I said, there are two kinds of bitches. There are the bitches who will bitch at me because I'm wearing the wrong bra. I'm totally wearing the wrong bra. Uh-huh. And then there are the bitches that occasionally neglect to wear a bra. I knew our relationship was dead because I got home from work and then I took off my shirt and then she said, that bra is no good. You need a bra with an underwire. And then I said, I'd rather kill myself. I'd rather kill myself than motherfucking what? I thought when I left my mother's house that I would no longer be subjected to advice about what I should or should not wear. I'm totally wearing the wrong bra. Fuck you! And then, one thing led to another. And there was a lot of crying. Suffice it to say, I was not the one that was crying. My father, well, I try to get mad at him. I try to be really rude and belligerent. But then he, my father is kind of adorable. So I'm trying really hard to be angry. After a while, I sort of just give up. And I think it's the same for him. He's trying really hard to be angry and stern and tough love. But look at me, I'm so adorable. So he sort of gives up. And he says, do you want groceries? And I say, no. No, I do not. No, I haven't run out of meatballs. I don't need anything. And grr, fuck you. But I didn't actually say fuck you. Like I wanted to, I really did. But it's really hard to actually say fuck you to the man that totally gave birth to me. And so what I said instead was, I haven't run out of meatballs yet. I don't need groceries, no I do not. And I still have tomato sauce. Yeah, I do. Therefore, I don't eat anything. I don't eat anything. And it's always just really goddamn awkward. Like, I'm here and I'm totally a liberal. Yeah, I'm liberal. And he's over there. And he says, Trump is a liar. And he doesn't say, I regret the way I voted. But he does say, politics is a dirty business. And it always has been. And then I say, what do you want for lunch? I'm not the only one that has encountered this generational divide. My father is a Republican. And I'm gay. Well, I'm half gay. Half gay. Gay enough that I'm not a Republican. And then that moron over there, he says, oh, do you have daddy issues? And I say, fuck you. No, I do not. I have mommy issues. Mommy issues. If I have to pick between my daddy and my mommy, I'm going to pick daddy every time. The both of them, religious. But, who was the one that was smacking the shit out of me? It was not my daddy. It was my mother. She would chase me and she would hold me down. And then, for no reason in particular, I was a good kid. I had straight A's most of the time. Well, when I was younger, I was a lazy kid. But then when I was older, straight A's. When I was younger, they would say, this is your math homework. And I would say, aye. And I would lose my math homework under mysterious circumstances. I would just lose it. Because I didn't want to do the math. Fuck math. It's boring. But then later, I was actually really good at math. I thought, oh, well, if you apply it to the real world, statistical analysis is actually kind of interesting. And then they said, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I said, what? It's laundry day. You think this cardigan is totally hideous? I agree. But it's laundry day. I'm doing laundry. I have no choice. What are you expecting from me? Sorry, my cardigan is offending you because it's totally hideous? No, I agree. Yeah, I do. But it's laundry day. Therefore, my name is Karen. Yeah. And then they said, what are you doing? I said, it's laundry day. It's laundry day. Whoops. Sorry. Anyway, I'm totally drinking coffee. No one leaves. I love coffee. Yes, I do. And why would I lie? I never lie about anything ever. But then I said, I think this coffee, it tastes kind of boring. It tastes boring. I would like to add just a little bit of electrolytes. And then the coffee will taste better. Yeah, I will. There we go. Now it will taste better. Yeah. So then they said something about Sabrina Carpenter. And it was totally controversial. And I said, what has that young lady gone and done now? She's being controversial. What? What did she do? And then they said, she said something about man's best friend. And then she published a song. And she totally wrote the lyrics all by herself. And the name of the song, Man Child. And I said, what's the problem? She's calling herself a man-child, and she's totally breaking the rules of gender? They guessed. They said, no, that's not the problem. That's not. She wasn't calling herself a man-child. And so I said, well, then what is the problem? And they said that she was calling herself a bitch, and she's totally a female dog. And I said, well, I was waiting for them to get to the controversial part. And they said, that's it. That's what she did. Well, also, the music video, I mean, I thought it was hilarious. But apparently other people thought that this year it's inappropriate. And then she took a photo. And all of the people said, I don't want my daughter to think that it's okay to let a man grab your hair. And then I said, well, usually I'm the one grabbing women's hair. And men. I also grab men by their hair. Usually women, but sometimes men. If you have long hair, and it's really goddamn long and sexy, I'm into it. I don't care what's in your pants. I'm gonna grab your hair. But then they said, something about women should not be submissive. And then someone else said, we're only allowed to be a dominatrix. And then someone else said, sometimes a pillow princess is just someone who does not feel comfortable touching someone else in the bedroom. And I thought, well, I can't relate. I'm always touching everything that I'm allowed to touch. But I once dated a pillow princess. Yes, I did. And well, I got bored after a while. But at first it was really sexy. And I told her, you're gonna wear this. And I gave her this outfit. And I said, you're gonna wear this. And she said, yes, ma'am. And then, she was being a pillow princess, really sexy. She was wearing this. And I was, totally a bratty bottom, Sam. But, she's a pillow princess. And then, I did my thing. And then she said, mommy. And I said, no, I'm your daddy. I'm not your mommy, I'm your daddy. And then, handcuffs were involved. And I said, you know what, you can keep the handcuffs. Go ahead and keep the handcuffs. But I didn't break up with her because she was a pillow princess. I broke up with her because she told me who she voted for. And I said, what the fuck? Goodbye. That's it. It's over. And then there was a cougar. And she told me who she voted for. And I said, what the fuck? You're old enough. You're not a motherfucking moron like my pillow princess. You're old enough. What the fuck is wrong with these women? You're totally bisexual, and you're totally transgender, and you're totally they them. Fuck you. As for me, I'm just a bratty bottom. I'm just a bratty bottom. And don't listen to me. I'm a Karen, and I'm an old lady, and I'm totally like walking around with a cane, and I'm so old and senile. I totally have early onset dementia. Yes, I do. Therefore, why would you listen to me? Well, I'm totally, I'm a dragon, and I'm evil. 63, and my name is number 5 Hargreaves. I was time traveling, and therefore, I'm older than I look. However old you think I am, I'm even older than that. I'm 58. Ha. And from now on, I'm Italian, and that's why I love Italian food. That's why. And then they said, what you got there, buddy? And I said, this is apple juice. Apple juice, yeah, that's what this is. Just a wholesome sort of apple juice. Doesn't it look vaguely apple juice colored? This is apple juice. And then they said that they did not believe. They said, Andy, you're contradicting yourself. You said that was tea. And I said, whoops. Hey, my new name is Loki. Loki Weissmith. Anyway, oh yeah, it's apple tea. Apple tea. Yup, that's what it is. But they did not believe. A wise man once said, I take my whiskey neat, my coffee black, and my bed at 3. And then I said, ha, why would I want my whiskey on the rocks? No, I take my whiskey neat. Russia is the enemy. Russia is totally our enemy. Therefore, I don't drink vodka anymore. We will politely pretend that I don't drink vodka anymore. I'm taking my whiskey neat. And he said, but you always insist that you want your drink on the rocks. And I said, shh. No. Why would I want ice in my drink? Nope. I take my whiskey neat. Just here to keep you company, whoever you are. We're totally on a date. This is a mukbang. Mukbang, that is. And therefore, we're totally on a date. We're eating spaghetti. We are. Parasocial relationship. Yeah. I encourage it. Because there are a lot of lonely people. So I will pretend that we are on a dinner date. Yes, we are. Aren't you lonely? Me too. And that is why, whoever you are, you're totally my future wife. Yeah, you are. We're totally gonna get married. And then they will say, technology is beautiful. Yeah, it is. It's destroying the environment, but it's beautiful. Where are you from? Where do you live? I live in Texas. Yeah, I do. And there's nothing I would love more than to have a long distance relationship with you, whoever you are. Yeah. Because I'm so lonely and I'm so hideous. It's not as if where I live, a lot of people of all ages salivate over me. Nope, I'm ugly. And you too, you're also ugly? Excellent. We will be ugly together. And we're totally gonna get married, yada yada. You have a low self-esteem? Me too. We will politely pretend that I also have a low self-esteem. And I'm totally shy. I'm an introvert. Yup. Just like you. Whoever you are. Some people make a living out of being a virtual boyfriend or girlfriend. And me too. Yeah. I will be your waifu and your husbando. I can be your boy toy and your bride. And that's why we're on a date. We're totally eating spaghetti. Mario and Luigi? Yeah, I love video games. Yeah, I do. But I'm a hermit. I just play video games alone in my apartment. I never go anywhere. And I never participate in politics. No, I do not. Because it's of no concern of mine. Why would I give a toss? Never have I ever. And I'm bisexual, so I don't give a toss if you are a man or a woman. I love everybody equally.